Hi YB.
Hi, how are
Okay,
you?
we are fine, thank you. How are you, YB?
I'm fine, thank you.
How was it so far today?
So far it's a busy day outside because we are having the collection for our Jom Shopping Scheme Mesra Usia Emas vouchers, which are 100 ringgit vouchers for senior citizens and also OKUs.
I see. Okay, first, thank you so much for being with us today for our Sinar Daily Politically Frank. So we actually need you to be very frank with us.
Okay.
Are you ready, YB?
All right.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
So, can we do this when we walk?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, okay. Let's go. Okay. Alright, baby. So let's start with our first question. So why do you think PAS is going all out to ban concerts and also Oktoberfest?
Well, the straightforward answer is because I don't think they have any thing to announce, any benefits to announce to the people, which is why they are just playing this very easy card. I'm sure that sometimes it appeals to a certain segment of the crowd because some people see certain concerts as very provocative and all. But I think PAS is just taking an easy card out as we head towards general elections. Yeah.
Interesting.
Otherwise, they have nothing else to sell because they are trying to cover up their failures in Kelantan.
Interesting, YB. Okay, moving on. So certain factions in UMNO will deny requests to delay elections. Is the AP prepared to face GE15?
We're currently in preparations. We've been given the order to select, form our campaign teams and our individual campaign strategies for the areas. But yeah, if UMNO wants to come for it and if Parliament dissolves, then okay, let's go for it.
Alright, YB. Then next question. With Najib Razak in prison, will this be an advantage to PH to win GE15?
I would say that Najib Razak going to prison has given us, our supporters, a boost. Like suddenly everyone's motivated again. But I don't know if that can sustain the momentum for opposition to win GE15. So what I see is a good thing, especially with the anti-hopping law coming in. It restores some hope and faith to our supporters that their vote matters. But whether we can carry this all the way to GE15 or Najib Razak going to jail, it's another matter. And we have to offer something positive, something hopeful for the rakyat as well.
Alright, then do you think more corruption cases, especially involving top political leaders, will surface after Najib case?
Well, it is currently happening. I mean, currently we have Zahid Hamidi facing court cases. Bok Mortar's side has been ordered to enter in their defense and all. That is a good sign. But like I said, I think as Pakatan Harapan, we need to offer something positive, something beneficial for the rakyat, for them to vote for us.
Alright, now that we're here at Kampung Tunku, at your service centre,
Yay.
so we would like to ask something about that. So, what plans do you have in hand for Kampung Tunku folks?
Right. So I'll start with the issues that we face first. Kampung Tunku is a place where I would say that social inequality is quite high. Why is this so? Because in certain areas such as SS1, SS3, they were designated as quarters for ex-civil servants, and some of them are really high ranking, like they're ex-generals, ex-chairmen of EPS, and so forth. And we have the poorer segment, which are some who are economic migrants from other states. So we have a huge, like really rich T20 and also a pretty decent size of B40. So that's our main issue, urban poverty. And the second is just maintenance of infrastructure, because Kampung Tunku is a pretty old neighborhood. And the third issue is aging population. Even with only 18, the percentage of our demographics here are still mostly above 40 years old. So with regards to plans that we have for Kampung Tunku, is number one, combat urban poverty by providing aid and also access to facilities including like legal aid, mental health therapy and so on and so forth. So the Selangor government, we just launched a Selangor Legal Aid Fund, Dana Bantuan Guaman Selangor, which serves to provide access to justice for cases under family law and the Akta Kerja 1955. And these are for families which have income less than 3,000 ringgit. The second thing is just continuous maintenance. So this year we've already upgraded under my peruntukan 3 sporting facilities: badminton court, volleyball court, and there is another playground equipment going on, and we are still helping out our schools with their canteen roofs and so on and so forth. So always continuous maintenance, and also flood mitigation by upgrading drains continuously. And the third, for aging society, we've already started sending in requests to MBPJ to increase ramps in certain areas, commercial areas, and also further up in Paramount and Sipa, we have already, MBPJ is in the works of setting up those those push button, the running man lights, so that pedestrians can cross safely, and also the appropriate pedestrian crossing. So we hope to make the area as safe and accessible to the population as they age. Yeah.
Interesting, YB. Then moving on for our million-dollar question about GE15. So, can Malaysian voters expect more multiracial candidates line up for GE15 from the AP?
Well, we've always had a multiracial lineup. The challenge is actually getting, I guess, the more marginal or mixed race seats, because historically the AP has been perceived as a Chinese party that runs in urban seats. But that's not true now. We have a significant number of Malay members who are quite promising, and we hope in our seat negotiations we'll be able to get more mixed seats, which I think bodes well for everyone, because if let's say we look within our PH coalition, it does not help PKR or Amanah if they have to constantly explain to attacks that the AP is a Chinese party. So the more mixed seats the AP can get, I think that's a good thing as a whole for coalition. You know, we want to be a situation where a Chinese Adun can take care of a Malay area, a Malay Adun can take care of, let's say, an Indian area, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Interesting. By the way, YB, has anyone ever mentioned that your outfit is very good today?
Thank you so much. Thank
so
you, thank you.
pretty.
Yeah,
Okay,
I love batik and
so about that. As for the upcoming election, do you think we can see more female representation from the AP?
Definitely, that's something we have stuck to. If I'm not mistaken, the last round or so, we pretty much reached our 30% quota for candidates. But one of the communities that I really like to see expansion in with regards to DAP candidates is young Indian women, and also young Orang Asal or Orang Asli women. Yeah, that is a segment that we are trying to grow.
Interesting, YB. So, what is your advice for youth who are having a hard time understanding politics and care about how it affects people's life?
So I think the first thing is, if you want to understand politics, you need to go down to the basics, which is kind of like your general knowledge, where there are 3 levels of government, federal, state, local, and then how we have elections or who's involved in elections. You have to go back to that theoretical knowledge first, but also at the same time, the best way I think is to actually look around you in your community, your taman or kampung, and see what issues are there. For example, let's say your kampung does not have a good rubbish collection system. What can you do? Who can you approach? Who is in charge of that? And then when you start understanding that, then you can start questioning the political structures and the powers within the system. And I think that's a good way to start. Another good way is to follow youth collectives on Instagram. I think Why Politics is quite a good resource where they break down political information, including like the implementation of new bills into just like really easy to understand in this Instagram post. So and also to maybe look if you have a personal cause that you like to champion, maybe environment or technology, then it's good looking for certain youth collectives where you can discuss ideas that you can also bring to policymakers like your local ADUN or MP. Yeah.
Alright, YB. So we have come to our final question. So what is your hope for 2023 budget?
For 2023 budget, I'd like to see definitely a bigger healthcare budget with regards to mental health in particular. So, yeah. Because our percentage of the healthcare budget compared to other first world countries is quite small. I think in the wake of COVID-19, there needs to be more investment into infrastructure, and I'd like to take it a bit further in that hospitals are allowed to actually procure their own equipment. So when we did fundraising in 2020 and 21 for Hospital Segamat Johor and also Hospital Sungai Buloh, for them to be able to get ICU equipment and other surgical equipment that was important to COVID, we found that the paperwork was quite menyusahkan in the sense that hospitals cannot just ask for sponsorship for medical equipment. And I don't blame the hospitals. It's part of the SOPs. But I feel sorry for them because then it puts them in a really difficult position where they need equipment and they can't ask for it. Someone has to donate it to them. So I'm hoping that with a bigger healthcare budget also comes with reforms to the healthcare system where hospitals are given more autonomy to be able to procure their own items at the necessary times. Yeah.
Alright, YB. So thank you so much for being with us today. We have seen like how lively the atmosphere here is now. So thank you so much for your time here.
Yeah.
Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.